It was 1913?
Damn.
1914. Beginning with 1914 general election, all U.S. senators have been chosen by direct popular election, which is a democratization of the Republican institution of the Senate. So
Which I would
we
argue
have
is
not
a
had a
bad
Republic.
thing.
It is a super bad thing.
I would argue is a bad thing. I would be in favor of going back to...
If you
because
like a republic.
I would be in favor of going back to how it used to be in the sense, and what I mean is where you vote for your representative and your representatives then elect the senators, right? And I would be in favor of that because it's a decentralization of the government in the way that you have to be more focused on local politics. You have to be, because if you want a good senator, you have to pick a good representative. It also holds your representatives to more accountability because more people are paying attention to you. More people have eyes on you, and you have to pay more attention to your constituents because you are electing our further step of federal representation. You know?
I mean, if you fuck that up, bro, you ain't getting reelected.
Yes.
If all of a sudden the populace realizes that you voted for somebody as a senator that they can't stand, you don't have a seat anymore, much less they do. You don't have a seat anymore. Thank God. That would be nice. I think we should go back
I would
to
be
that.
in favor of that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Good luck, though.
I think reading these books about the founding and stuff has really highlighted for me the different portions of our government and of our country that have been centralized, and it's terrifying.
Bad news.
Because it's so... And I know, and it doesn't matter. People could argue this for a million years. You know,
What's
but
the danger of
this
centralization?
government was designed this way for a reason.
Yeah.
It was designed this way for a reason. So to continue to chip away at that because, it just doesn't really make sense anymore seems dumb. Because it's not like...
It doesn't make sense anymore.
It's not like
that
they
just means
sat
you
around
don't
for,
understand.
for 5 minutes and they're like, that's going to work the best. You know, it took years. It took fucking years to hammer out and fine-tune exactly how this government was going to be established. They thought about this, right? Of course there are things they can't factor in because it was fucking 1776. Of course there are things they can't factor in. They were really smart. They were really, really smart, right? They knew a little bit about what they were talking about, at least a little bit. So,
I mean, do you think from your readings as of late, do you think they had any actual... Do you think they had any idea that one day the government would be dealing with 300 plus million people?
No.
There's no kind of like language about like growth or anything like that when they're talking about the establishment.
The large cities in 1776, I think Philadelphia had 40,000 people in it.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was any comprehension that America might have 330 million people in it. You know, because like the biggest cities, 40,000 people in there.
Because that would be like my ultimate question is like if you had the ability to travel back to talk to like Benjamin Franklin. The only question, if you had one question to ask him, my question would be, do you know, or has it ever factored into your brain that in the future there's going to be 330 million people in this country?
Yeah.
Think about that as you draft, buddy. Go to town. I'm out. I'll see you in the future.
Yeah.
You know.
So no, I don't personally. I don't think that they were able to. The same way if you sit.
I don't know if you can comprehend that number.
No, the same way if you sit back now and think about, there's 3 billion people or whatever on the planet.
I can't comprehend that.
No one can conceptualize the idea of 3 billion anything. There's a book. This is really good.
That's why like people have to make a thing like an entire football stadium full of cash.
So
that's like trillions of dollars.
So check,
or something.
right?
Yeah.
There is a book that's called 12 Million Paperclips, and it is about a group of maybe junior high kids that were learning about the Holocaust, and one of the kids asked, how much is 12 million?
Yeah.
Because that's how many people died in the Holocaust, the estimated number of people that died in the Holocaust. And so their teacher put out a call on the internet to have people send in boxes of paper clips. And so people found out they're sending boxes and boxes and crates, and celebrities are finding out. So
that would be a lot of paper clips.
12 million paper clips. They filled train cars, right? In plexiglass boxes they put in train cars that they filled with 12 million paper clips. It's a museum now that you can go to. You can walk through and you can see 12 million paper clips so that you can try and conceptualize the amount of people that were murdered in that atrocity. Yes, in an attempt to allow a human being to conceptualize the number 12 million.
That's just 12 million.
And that's the teacher's like, what can I think of that's going to be 12 million? What can I collect 12 million of? And that's how they arrived. I don't remember if it was a man or woman, but that's how they arrived on paper clips. It's like, that's small enough that I can get that and put it in a room or something like that. I'll get a storage facility. But
12 million.
12 million.
12 million paper clips.
Yeah. I recommend it's it's like a picture book almost.
Yeah.
I would recommend everybody check it out. Yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, so I don't think that anybody at that time could have comprehended or even conceptualized that number. God, I think they knew it was going to get bigger. They knew it was going to grow fast because of how fast the country was growing already.
Yeah.
But
yeah, did they have a true understanding of what exponential growth was at that point? I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Maybe in numbers, but that's it. Fucking wild shit, dude. Okay. What else is going on in these voting bills?
Yes.
So we've talked about the automatic registration.
Guaranteeing mail-in early in-person voting options in every state and in effect. So
yes, I have things to say about these.
Right. So we have states, Washington State, for an example, right? All of our elections are done by mail. We actually have an election going on right now.
Right now?
Midterm
I got my ballot the other day.
I brought my voter pamphlet. It's actually just four levies that we're voting on.
Yeah. Schools and...
It's all schools. Yeah. It's all schools. It's all different school levies.
This is the first time in my life I'm voting against schools, by the way.
It's not good.
Just because the schools are run by the state, and I know it's not going to be spent well. Sorry.
We should talk about that afterwards.
That's a whole other deal.
I don't have a problem with states deciding that they're going to have mail-in voting if that's what they decide they're going to do. And one of my biggest issue is the federal government deciding, well, you guys are going to do this now, right?
Yes.
And
that's not okay. My
smaller issue aligns with the smaller issue I had in 2020 that you can't force this infrastructure. If the infrastructure is not there, there's going to be problems. If the infrastructure is not there, the enforcement is not there, things like that, you're going to have terrible voting system. It's going to be fucked up, and you're going to have people ballot harvesting and breaking laws and doing all kinds of dirty shit because they weren't prepared to regulate that at the time that it was input. So I have a problem on that vein. Where are you at with this?
Well, I have a...
You say your thoughts. We'll come to peace at the end.
I like the concept. I like the concept of mail-in voting. I like the way, more or less, we do it in our state. I don't know particularly how this works in our state, other than the fact, because I'm registered already.
Signature matching.
Because I'm signature matching. Oh, okay. So if you are a registered voter, you sign the registration file when you send in your ballot. That is...
I've had a ballot...
That's...
To their defense, because I agree with you, I don't think it's super effectual. But to their defense, I've had a ballot sent back because yes, because my signature didn't match whatever their records were.
Because my signature don't match from Wednesday to Tuesday.
No, I had to sign. I think I had to sign 3 times on one piece of paper and then send it back.
Okay.
And so then they compared though. I assume I don't know. They probably said fuck it, But I assume then they compared those 3 to the one on my ballot and then decided that it was good enough, and then went on with it. I don't know how often that happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that aside, we'll just say, because that's in the finite, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. The concept of mail-in, I like as long as that universal. As long as it can be universal in my mind, as long as the registration is universal. If everybody is registered, then everybody gets a vote in the mail-in. That's fine, right? As long as you have an accurate mailing address on your voter registration, you can get an unsolicited ballot. That's fine because you're already registered. We know who you are. Boom, bing, bang, boom. We get it back. I don't like the idea of unsolicited universal voting.
Right, because there was a lot of people.
Because who knows who gets a ballot?
There was a lot of people last year that had issues. They went to the polls and then were told, "Oh, we sent your ballot in the mail." And so I didn't request a mail-in ballot. I wanted to come to the polls to vote. And there's issue of, we already sent you a ballot, or people getting ballots or not receiving ballots and being told that they had been sent a ballot. So there are definitely issues in that system, and I would say we weren't prepared for that, which is probably a lot of those issues. But people like Steven Crowder and stuff like that said that he got a mail-in ballot in Michigan when he lives in Texas now. Is that because he never called to cancel his voter registration?
Did he not
Texas?
Update his own shit?
I don't.
Was he not being responsible?
We obviously updated at least point because he was voting in Texas. But that also means that his registration in Texas doesn't automatically neutralize his registration in Michigan,
unless you wanted a national voter registration,
which also, I would also argue, speaks to the Republican point of purging voter rolls. If you have people if Steven Crowder's lived in Texas for 10 years, which means there's 5 elections he's voted in at the very least, right? State ones. And if he hasn't voted in 5 years, take his ass off the list. Why the fuck are you still even wasting paper sending him a ballot if he's not voting?
Yeah. If you have sent somebody a ballot and not received it back for 5 years, goodbye.
For 5 cycles, right? That's just,
cycles,
a number I picked.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready.